we can put in place to be able to address this. We don't have time on our side. Normally we have months and months to prepare for something. We have to deal very quickly to contain the spread of the virus. On courier services, the regulations specifically enable courier services to be used for the moving around of health products, pharmaceutical products in this period. On the items that people can buy, obviously with these things we wanted to keep the list as full so that we can do a quick and possible. Obviously, to a biggest, and it's more treatment for it that we work together in the next few.
Throughout the world, that is, let's stay at home. That's at home, that indeed and this consequences that will who is also a doctor. Also,
is comfort for this 21. So, as about not supposed to be a there are will allow people to renew and will take applications up to the 31st of March. It has since been extended to the 15th of June. So there's no problem about the Lesotho special permit. The issue of the asylum seekers and refugees in the Green Market Square in Cape Town, also at Lindela Repatriation Center, because there are those who were in Pretoria who are there. We've been dealing with this matter. Just yesterday, we had a telephone conference with the Premier of Western Cape, the City of Cape Town, the MEC for Public Works and Social Development. We've discussed this matter, and today, our lawyers have been running up and down. We have communicated with the United Nations. We are trying to deal with the matter, but I can't give you the final answer now. All we said was that there need to be a reintegration. Even the portfolio committee in Parliament, if you remember, called Home Affairs, the City of Cape Town, the Human Rights Commission, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, and instructed that to work together for repatriation, for reintegration into communities. But if that fails, we've got no option but to repatriate. And in preparation of what Parliament has said, I've met ambassadors of 3 countries where most of these people, the refugees there come from. More than 90% come from the DRC, about 7% comes from Burundi, and the rest come from Somalia, Rwanda, and Ethiopia. But the ambassadors which came were from DRC, were from Burundi, and were from Ethiopia. And I gave them the judgment. There's a judgment here which people might forget about. The judgment passed on the 17th and what the judge said. Very harsh words. And the ambassador of DRC said he fully agrees with those words and he won't blame South Africa if we take any action of repatriating people, if they keep on refusing all the solutions we are offering them. I think we'll give additional information later as it becomes available. Thank you very much.
Minister Nkosazana Dlamini.
Thank you very much. I didn't have a direct question, but I just think it's important to realize that this is a disaster we are facing, and we have to deal with it expeditiously, otherwise we issued the first regulation that we said evolves. We may come up with new measures. And indeed, the president looked and analyzed together with the cabinet, led by the health department. It's not only what is happening, but the projections that obviously meant that more stringent measures have to be taken in order to flatten the curve so that the number of people infected do not overwhelm our services, but also to just reduce the number of people who are infected. And I hope that all South Africans, and fortunately most South Africans, have welcomed this because they can see that if we don't take measures, it's going to be disastrous. But it's not government alone that have to act. Each and every one of us have to take action. Every South African has to take action. Every South African must know that what you are doing may save your life, but also may endanger somebody else's life, depending on what you are doing. So I got worried when I heard people asking questions, what will the police do if I lie to them? Why should we even think that we should lie to the police? We shouldn't lie to the police because the action you are taking might actually be endangering somebody else. So we all serve of each other, one another, take these measures that they will work, out for 21 of our people. Together, instead of looking for loopholes of how to dodge the lockdown, then I think that way we can defeat this COVID-19, acting together, united, in solidarity, and for the love of our nation and for humanity. Thank you.
There was a gentleman, no, I'm not taking any. A question that you think the general did not answer. you say, then I will then revert back to the general. No, this gentleman. Wait for 3 hours.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Minister. Minister Cele, what I wanted, two things you didn't answer is the one thing about what I asked about people that are not journalists, but they still do an essential job in getting out the news. So someone like a sub-editor or a person doing layout, they need to travel back and forth from the office because that kind of technology...
Can I answer your question?
Yes.
Can I answer your question?
Yes, Minister.
It was
please.
answered, but it's in the regulations. Maybe, I think all of us must also read the regulations. Because for journalists, now I'm trying to assist my colleagues. For journalists, it's quite clear that you use your, as they have said, you use your cards and of course accompanied by your ID. But there are others who then need to be permitted by those that they work for in terms of these essential services regulations, and there is a form that they will then have to filled by those that they work for. Just go and read the regulations, they answer these questions. All those who are in the value chain are covered in terms of the form that they will have to fill, signed by the head of the institution that they work for if they are part of essential services.
Thank you, Minister. Just the second question then. We are not asking these questions because people want to dodge the rules. They want to know the rules to abide, by the regulations because they do understand. But what I wanted to ask, and this is a question that a lot of readers ask, if my mother is sick and she's old, can I take food to her? Can I take her to the doctor? Can I take her to do some of her shopping?
Can we then, colleagues, I think it's quite helpful if we listen to one another. But I will go back again, what is the meaning of essential services? We have just explained some of them. Minister, want to explain, Minister Lamula?
I think how we have defined essential services, you will be aware that there is essential services defined in terms of the Labour Relations Act and the National Key Points Act. But this is a different situation, which is informed by the pandemic. So what is essential in a normal environment of a strike or normal environment, this situation needs, its essentials are different to that. It needs an added kind of an essential. Hence, the definition of essential services taking into cognizance the Labour Relations Act, the National Key Points Act, and also the Disaster Management Act. So we have defined essential to also include that essential services related to the National Disaster, to the Disaster Management Act, and as per the regulations. So that is how essential services is defined, and hence you will find a list of categories of what then is essential under this Disaster Management Act.
Yeah, just add something then with Valandos.
Yeah, in the services that are provided, first of all, if somebody is ill, the older people are the most vulnerable in this pandemic. Obviously, government and all of us will want them to get the services they need. And that's why I think one of my colleagues had explained, but I'll say it again. That's why specifically we've even put care services, social relief of distress provided to older persons. It's in the regulations. And then it goes on. So clearly, older people in distress, older people who need care, it's in the regulations. So, because we were as worried about the older people as all the people are asking the question. So it is in the regulations, it's explained. So if you say to the police or whatever, you are rushing because your older parent, your parent is in distress, it's in the regulation that must be attended to. It's part of the essential services that must be provided, and older people are mentioned specifically. Thank you.
Ndosi, Minister Cele, you'll be the last one. Kofoza.
The question was answered by Minister Dlamini Zuma. I can just add, please have a headline that says, "Don't lie." Because you came here and you said, "If you lie," your headline must say, "Please don't lie." Thank you.
Colleagues, we have been here for quite some time, and to our people at home, we have explained now what are the rules and regulations that will apply during this lockdown. And we have explained as much as we could the reasoning behind these regulations. Again, all that we are trying to do as government, working together with all other stakeholders, is to save lives, is to protect South Africans from this disease called coronavirus, is to contain the spread of this disease called coronavirus. All that we are asking, can we work together? All that we are asking, so that we don't create problems. It's not a police matter. It's a societal matter. It's not a defense matter. It's a societal matter. It's a matter that needs all of us to work together. That's all that we are asking as government. Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.
Minister Jackson, we still have questions from Cape Town, please.
It has been a long day.
But I think it was necessary. We gave information.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Commander.